Am I the butthole because I don't want to share my Irish culture with my American classmates? My 16 female family and I recently moved from Dublin, Ireland, to a small town in the south of the United States, a real Bible Belt town where it seems they don't get a lot of foreigners like myself and my family. I recently joined the local high school as a sophomore, or 10th grade. It's been a bit of a learning experience and I'm trying to navigate the difference between here and home. To be honest, it was not my idea to move to America, but my parents both have jobs that gave them better opportunities than Dublin was offering and they decided to move out here. I don't like it here. My classmates keep making this big to-do about my effing accent, asking me stupid crap like, have you ever seen a leprechaun? Do you all live in little stone cottages and wear buckle shoes? Things like that, stereotypes of life in Ireland. Quite a few have asked me to quote the Lucky Charms bastard or the character from Austin Powers. It doesn't help that I look like an Irish stereotype. I've got red hair and pale skin and freckles and a thick accent. It's all so annoying. I don't like it here and I miss Ireland, miss my family, my nan and my cousins and all my friends. I had so many friends and now we're living in America, we're all finding it hard to continue being friends because Ireland is hours ahead of where we live and it's hard to maintain friendships over Insta and Facebook and all. The school I'm attending has started having the physical classroom. One of my history classes this year has a focus on other cultures than just American, so we study different countries. My teacher didn't wait long to ask me to share about life on the faraway land of Ireland. Thing is, I don't want to be some effing show pony for these people. My culture, my country, is not some display to be touted out like this. We're real people, we have real lives, we're not stuck in the 1700s farming sheep and crap, we have cities and internet and health care, we're a fully evolved society. It isn't my job to teach her class. Of course, I'm now seen as some kind of antisocial bully because I told the teacher plainly that I would not agree to her request. Now the school wants to have a sit-down with my parents and me because they have concerns about my well-being. We have a student who moved here 3 years ago from Mexico, but she didn't ask him to participate. Am I really such a butthole because I don't want to be used as some kind of performance monkey because I'm from a different country? Original poster replies, God, man, if only I can. I can't believe the drinking laws in this country. Back home no one batted an eye if a 16-year-old had a little something to drink, so long as we didn't overdo it or hurt anyone. I mean, my folks never had an issue with me and my older sis having wine at dinner. When we went to France last summer, I had wine in public. I went down the wine aisle at Walmart with my ma'am and at least 3 old ladies gave me dirty looks. Original poster replies, exactly, mate, exactly. So, you lot can vote for higher office, and run for office, at 18, you can own firearms before 18, you can join the armed forces at 18, 17 with parental approval, but you can't have a ciggy or a pint after school or work at 18? Like, what is that? Original poster replies, my dad don't mind letting us having a Guinness on a Friday night, and we usually have wine with dinner. My parents both lived in France as students, so they've had a little more culture about them than I think most Americans have the chance to have. If anything, I'm grateful my folks have taught us how to properly imbibe without hurting our health at an early age, and will know our own limits when the time comes to be of drinking age in public. Original poster replies, fully aware, but it's better than nothing. I feel like that one little line describes a lot about the states these days. What states? Solid, gas, or liquid? If it were me who were asked to discuss my country, I would do a comparison showing these differences between Ireland and the US. Oh, and healthcare. Not the butthole, by the way. Oh, and healthcare. Yeah, I would be like, oh yeah, life in little ol' Ireland, hamming up the accent for that bit. We don't have to have drills for school shooters, and if we get sick and have to go to hospital, we don't have to worry about the bill. This was my first thought. Well, the biggest difference I think is that no one dies from easily curable diseases. When we get sick, we go to a doctor, get help, get medicine, and get better without going bankrupt. Also a truly revolutionary thought, we see women and full humans with full autonomy over their reproductive choices. Oh, and gay rights are just, rights? This is what I was thinking. Original poster can take advantage of the situation to highlight all the aspects of how far away Magic Land Ireland is actually not the place they imagine it to be. Healthcare costs, drinking age, especially as compared to other legal ages. No school shootings, education costs, paid time off. Is there a reason you guys are living where you are? It sucks that you're stuck with their decisions, but small town Bible Belt sounds horrifying to even those of us from saner parts of the country. Also, go back as soon as you can. We are a mess. People are idiots all over. I live in a deep South state but don't have a Southern accent. I would go to conferences and have people ask if I have indoor plumbing. How come I don't say y'all? Did I graduate high school? Do I drive a pickup? I work for a space tech company and we're at a conference discussing big space project. I live in an area with the highest percent of PhDs in the US. Bless your heart. A friend of mine from a European country was asked repeatedly if her country had things like indoor plumbing, or electricity, or TV, and was complimented on her English constantly during a business conference we met at. She's from Norway. So, yes. She also understands basic slang. We make fun of it now, but at the time, it was ridiculous. A good friend from Ghana, living in the US South, has been asked twice if she had roads in her native country, Africa. It's so frustrating, even more since she's better educated than most of my family, and grew up with better healthcare than the people who asked about roads. I can talk like the weatherman or speak with my native accent. Either way, I get asked the same ridiculous questions because of where I come from. Is this your first time wearing shoes? If you counted all your fingers and toes, how many would you have? I mean, you can count, can't you? What is iced tea? It gets worse at conferences where they serve alcohol. I've had men offer to show me how to use the shower and ask if they can join me and my sister in bed. It doesn't matter how many letters I add after my name, the questions never change. How do these people exist? I can't fathom asking a person questions like that. You're in Huntsville? Birthplace of the US space program, rocket. That's what I was going to say. Moving to this hellhole is bad enough, but there are part of the country that are slightly more enlightened hellholes than the GD Bible Belt. Right? Like I'm from NJ and probably would be getting similar questions about the Real Housewives of NJ and Jersey Shore. Like her folks didn't think to at least find a blue dot of sanity if they need to live there. Odo, I went and visited a friend at Rutgers a few years ago, and one of the young ladies he knew asked me if we still had slaves in the South. Unfortunately, some people buy into regional stereotypes just a little too much all over. Hey now, not all of us in the Bible Belt are narrow-minded old biddies. Some of us are the broken products of generations of biddies. At least the cities have something going for them. Trying to remember what that is. Oh, more booze, and types. Rodeo, which isn't bad if it's what you've got. May, original poster isn't TA, but she might start sweetly using a well-known Southern saying to get back at those biddies in Walmart. Well, bless your heart, with as much sweet venom as is possible. Yep. Kid got screwed. The Bible Belt tends to have a lot of people who conform to the same behaviors, and anyone from somewhere else will stick out. While they might not mean any real harm by their behavior, they're still being obnoxious dickbags about it. If they start in on the leprechaun crap, lean into the dumb stereotypes about them. Ask them how big their moonshine still is, and if it's weird for them to have to wear shoes. Ask if people are allowed to dance, and when the next book burning is. And you can always express concern about not having someone to go to prom with because all of your cousins are in Ireland. Maybe they'll learn that it's crafty to be stereotyped, no matter where you're from. Or maybe they won't, because of all the fetal alcohol syndrome. I'm 2 generations removed from Ireland, but I'm glad that's one of the traditions my family kept. Pretty much everyone in the family learns to drink responsibly around 14 to 16, and no one has gotten out of control from it. To be fair, non-American here, so I'm not biased. It's because the drinking age is based on actual brain development and the age of adulthood was arbitrarily chosen. Research has proven that at bare minimum, the brain hasn't finished developing until at least the mid-20s. It's now believed it might be as late as the 30s. There is also some scientific proof that alcohol harms an undeveloped brain. The drinking age is the more logical of the two. 18 was just chosen for everything else because Reasons. I know it's normal to drink underage in your country, it's normal to drink a lot younger here, too. But normal doesn't actually mean it's okay. It also used to be normal to kill each other over religion. But does the law actually achieve making people drink responsibly and wait until they are 21? In states where recreational weed is legal, it's 21 plus, for this same reason. Still, I think the best thing to do is properly educate about the risks of drinking and smoking. Does it really make sense to send an 18-year-old with a still developing brain to war, but not allow them to drink? No, the solution should be to raise that age, not to lower the drinking age, not disagreeing with you, but with US standards. That's all fine and well, but then how come they are treated like complete adults in basically all other aspects of life? How come they can go die in a war but not have a beer in a bar when they come back? How come they are judged like adults if their brain development isn't completed? If you want to make that point, then it should apply in all aspects. You can also be married off with parental approval as young as 12 in some states. But can't get a lawyer for a divorce or go to a domestic shelter if you are under 18. It's really quite arbitrary, moronic, disgusting, and total BS. Not the butthole at all. We in the US are so damn sheltered here to believe that no other country is as good as we are, has what we have, etc., that a lot of people truly believe that most other countries don't have cars, internet, TV, cell phones, large metropolitan areas. You are not a museum exhibit to be parades around. If they treated you with respect, perhaps, you would want to share a little of your home, but not with the way they treated you. You don't owe anyone in the US anything. Keep what is precious to you close to your heart. You know, these are all topics that would be great as part of a cultural presentation, right? You can die for your country at 18, but alcohol and cigarettes are off limits because the human brain is not fully formed until 21, so you don't know what you want or need. Yet we can work, pay rent and taxes, sick and die with no health care, no smoking, or drinking, etc. So effing stupid. This country is screwed. I understand job opportunities, but you'd probably be better off back in Ireland NGL. Maybe do a full-on presentation about everything backward in your new home as compared to the preferable situation in Ireland? Talk about how it is totally insane to have a country with billionaires while children die for lack of basic health care. Completely dunk on the fact that the US is the richest third-world regressive state on the planet. Bring up systemic racism and ingrained racial injustice. Do not be gentle. Just be sure you are accurate with it. Then sit back and enjoy never being asked to do a presentation again. I once moved from a wealthy city and one of the finest school systems in the nation to a backwater rural area with one of the worst schools in the entire state. I was accidentally going to be their valedictorian and could not give any F's about it. They asked what I planned to do at the graduation and I said, I don't know these people, I don't want to be here, and this school is a joke, so I'll just say have a nice summer and walk away if I even attend at all. Suddenly the whole grading system for the school was rebuilt so they could squeak in a new valedictorian. I was still the only person who had done AP classes, was the only high honors student the entire year, etc., but I also did not care. It was pretty funny seeing how hard they worked to make sure I was not needed to speak or present or anything. Ireland isn't a lesson in utopian humanitarianism. Not the butthole. Ah sure, look it, we know that and are happy to point out all of our flaws. But going from Ireland to the US South is actually like moving to a place that is as backwards as some Americans believe Ireland to be in the 1960s. Compared to Bible Belt America? It's not far off it. Totally came here to suggest this. Talk about all the pluses of living in a socialist country. That'll make their toes curl. Learn the phrase bless your heart. Use liberally. Not the butthole. This. Next time they ask you a stereotype question, ask them one in return. Put on your best hick accent and ask who is dating their cousin. Refer to them as Cletus and Brandine. Go in tipsy and cheerful. Give a presentation on how awesome universal healthcare is in Ireland compared to America. Tout the progressive gay rights and abortion policies. Give metrics on how quality of life in Ireland compares, favorably, to the US. Finish by eating real grass-fed butter on your bread for lunch as the others watch. We don't have free universal healthcare in Ireland like they do in the UK. If you are below a certain income, you can apply for a medical card, but otherwise you get private health insurance. Somewhat ironic that the person you replied to in a post about Irish stereotypes made their own. Ireland also had a pretty restrictive abortion law until 2 years ago, and LGBT rights were also granted in general around the same time as in the US at the federal level. Not to say Ireland is bad or anything. It's a beautiful country. Sadly still do. You can only get an abortion under 17 weeks, so anyone with a life-threatening issue still has to go abroad. Give a presentation on how awesome universal healthcare is in Ireland compared to America. Tout the progressive gay rights and abortion policies. You mean things that aren't true about Ireland. Ireland is unfortunately not like pretty much the rest of Western Europe in this regard. They're still quite Catholic. You moved to the wrong state. Should have moved to Wisconsin. You can drink with your parents at any age here. Lots of transplanted Irish here, my husband is one. They do not ask those stupid questions here either. I was about to say, legal to drink with your parents here in Wisconsin. The southern USA was probably the worst place to start. Is it 1 bar per 6 people or 1 bar per 8 now? You're confusing Wisconsin with North Dakota and Montana. I feel you. Same in England, where it's actually fully legal to drink up to a pint with a meal at 16 and no one cares. Kid in the pub at 11, no one cares. I would look up the underage drinking laws in your state. Where I live, it's legal for a minor to drink as long as their parents are there and give permission. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to be the first to know about Red Rabbit Reader's new videos. If you like our videos, please like them on YouTube and share them with your friends. We welcome your comments below. Press to start another of our videos.